Smart Planning is an Azure-hosted, multi-tenant environment that can only be accessed by Deloitte practitioners for the first release. Once you've been given access to the environment, Smart Planning can be accessed from a web browser, and in future releases, we'll be enabling mobile access along with an Excel plugin. The first release of Smart Planning contains an end-to-end demand planning solution, which means we can ingest client data from multiple sources, perform outlier correction, product segmentation, and the generation of statistical, driver-based, and new product forecasts, enabling users to perform forecast reviews and create a consolidated global demand plan. To accomplish this, the Smart Planning team pulled multiple planning transformation projects to establish leading practices for planner-centric demand planning. Then we took a multi-pronged approach of creating a best-in-class calibration of the O9 platform while integrating our own proprietary data science and machine learning algorithms. In future releases, we'll continue to refine the overall workflows as more and more clients use O9 within our planning practice, and look to incorporate data from other Deloitte assets, such as Smart Factory and Smart Logistics. Throughout the development process, our guiding principles have been to create a solution that provides our clients with near real-time insights while maintaining the flexibility to adapt to changing requirements and new data, all the while taking the emotion out of demand planning and focusing on data-driven insights. As we don't have time to walk you through the entire platform, we'd like to provide a brief overview of the demand planning functionality we've created. To start our demand planning journey, we've developed a standard data integration solution that requires minimal configuration to set up across clients. This data pipeline can be configured to securely transfer data from client systems, transform it into a digestible format, and routinely load it into the Smart Planning environment. For the demo you're seeing today, we've set up the system for a sample retail and consumer products client. And in the case of this retailer, we use both master data and transactional data to inform our forecasts. We evaluated the base O9 demand planning reference model and made adjustments to the categorization of some data fields in order to optimize the solution based off Deloitte client experiences. The master data fields available include item attributes, sales channels, locations, and time-based data points. The transactional data includes historical product demand, shipment, and order data. For this example, we're using 3 years worth of historical data, which is generally how much data we recommend in order to generate accurate statistical forecasts for replenishment and carryover products. Once we have the data loaded into the system, the next step is to segment our product set and review, then correct outlier data points in order to increase forecast accuracy. From the platform, we can define the time horizon for how much data we'd like to use to feed our forecast generation and set up product segments by volume, volatility, and margin. From there, the system automatically analyzes product data and classifies them into the appropriate segments defined in the previous screen. Next, we can set up rules to detect outlier data points that could be skewing our forecast, apply those rules to our data sets, and review them to eliminate any outliers. Once our planners complete product segmentation and outlier correction setup, the next step is to set up our statistical forecast. From this screen, we can choose the time frame, historical measure, such as actual point of sale data, shipments, and order data, and the error calculation method we want to use. Then we can define how we generate the statistical forecast for each segment. After we've set up our forecast parameters, the system will then use those parameters to assign the best statistical algorithm, which will be applied to the forecast, each planning item. To do this, the system compares the error metrics of 14 different statistical algorithms that are then chosen based off the segment and rules applied, selecting the model that best fits the demand profile. From here, our planners can then review the generated statistical forecast, override any values as necessary, and view some basic KPIs on the system's projected forecast accuracy. Alongside our statistical forecast generation, smart planning also has the ability to perform driver-based forecasting. Deloitte has a dedicated team of data scientists who have worked on some of today's most challenging supply chain issues, such as COVID's impact on demand shaping and allocation, while developing models to more accurately forecast demand based off external and internal variables. Currently, we're using a variety of prediction models, and outside of those shown on the screen here, we are working on integrating several additional machine learning and deep learning algorithms, including XGBoost, AdaBoost, CatBoost, support vector regression, multi-layer perceptron, and LSTM. From this screen, our data scientists can pick and choose which algorithms they'd like to use along with other model hyperparameters. From here, we define what input data we'd like to feed our models, including the master and historic transactional data shown earlier, along with any drivers we'd like to define for our products. In this case, the drivers we've selected for this demo are temperature, precipitation, holidays, and a sample marketing promotion. Once the drivers have been configured, our data scientists can run the models in 3 different modes: tournament, training, and prediction mode. In tournament mode, the platform runs all the prediction models against each other, determining the forecast accuracy for each model and displaying the most accurate prediction method. In train mode, models can be ran to account for any new data, discard old data, or new hyperparameter settings. And in predict mode, we can use the models tested in tournament mode to create our forecasts. Once we've run the models and generated our driver-based forecast, we can visualize how our drivers will change over time and how they correlate with our stat forecasts and actuals. These drivers can be customized for each client and can include other factors such as demographic data, macroeconomic trends, COVID cases by region, store foot traffic, point of sale data, weather, population health data, consumer preference trends, and many other external data points that can inform demand. Once we've generated our stat and driver-based forecast and uploaded any additional forecasts generated by groups outside of smart planning, such as marketing or sales forecasts, we can then move on to creating a consensus demand plan. From this screen, we can view forecasted demand for all of our products across channels. From here, our planners can compare the various forecasting methods, determining whether they'd like to choose one value or calculate a weighted average. Lastly, we can view how the consensus forecast for each item is broken down by location and customer group. Along with forecasting for existing products, smart planning has the ability to forecast for new products. Deloitte's supply chain offering polled our clients and found that many of them struggle with effective new product forecasting, placeholder management, and like-for-like item comparison. From our new product integration screen, we can create placeholder items for new products and have the system identify like products that can be used to inform new product forecasting. From the like item search setup screen, planners will be able to review item attributes and smart planning suggested attribute weighting system, which can be overridden by user input that is then used to identify like products. Once the planner is comfortable with the attribute weighting, the system then generates and ranks like items with similarity percentages. The planner can then review the suggested like item rankings and override the identification if appropriate. After like items have been selected, the planner can then generate NPI forecast and review the system generated values. Lastly, after we've created all our forecasts, smart planning enables our planners to view a variety of metrics and dashboards that show how their forecasts are performing. From the system, our planners can view a variety of KPIs, including forecast accuracy, how volatility is impacting error rate by product margin, the difference between our forecast and actuals by forecasting method, as well as a variety of other actionable insights that can help planners identify resolutions to any unacceptable variance. This data will be analyzed by our Deloitte consultants, who can provide actionable recommendations and identify areas to improve forecast accuracy. All of the data, forecasts, and dashboard readouts can be exported to our clients, which they can then use to inform their demand planning processes. By leveraging a smart planning engagement, clients can take bias out of demand planning and employ our data-driven approach that incorporates inputs from the business, external demand driving factors, and Deloitte's extensive industry experience. By allowing Deloitte to manage tactical demand planning activities, Smart Planning's client organizations can take on a more strategic role and focus on core competencies, all the while enabling the ability to react to changes in demand in real time. If you would like additional information on smart planning, please feel free to reach out to the smart planning team members displayed on the screen.